I'm a little bit shocked about how excited I am to take a look at this today. This is the Studio Series Decepticon Mohawk from the last night portion of the live-action movie franchise. Mohawk was a loudmouth little dude that didn't last a long time. He lost his head, hardy har, in battle. But man, what an impression he made. Mohawk, he's going to be our focus, along with a comparison to this guy. This is the Dr. Wu version of Mohawk. We're going to look at this guy, compare him to the Dr. Wu version in the latest GotBot True Review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is Mohawk. He was in The Last Night. I know it's not the most popular film, but I like him. And he was different because he was a motorcycle. He was spindly, but like he was also violent. It was a great little character for how long he lasted, right? Even when he was being released, I'm pretty sure he was like kind of making fun of the guards, being like, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to take you out, and I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. He didn't, but it was kind of neat. When Dr. Wu done their version, I said, man, one day he's probably going to get like a Legends class offering, but I really would like to have an iteration of him now. So I got that micromaster version. There's one that's a bit bigger, maybe more MP sized, that I think is called Mozart, and I don't remember who made that, but that thing is a whole different beast. That thing's brilliant. How is the Studio Series one going to compare to the Dr. Wu one? Well, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look. And yes, indeed, we're taking a look at the Studio Series Last Night Mohawk, the little Decepticon motorcycle that had a big mouth and a lot of bravado. He didn't last a whole long time in the film, but you know what? I really felt like he made an impression. So with the packaging here, yeah, you can see here's Mohawk up here. On the side we have a close-up of his messed up head. Over here, again, his whole body. This looks more like concept art to me, though, than what we got in the film. I feel like what we got in the film was more, I don't know, slender, I suppose. Like, it reminds me more of Reedman. Like, his limbs and stuff were very thin and whatnot. But you know what? Like, thinking back, I'm not super particular with it, so this is, I think, good enough. Over here, I mean, here we have the product images. It is what it is. Nothing super special about this packaging. He comes with this set of instructions that honestly are pretty clear. These are actually fairly effective. He comes with this very small knife. It, I think, comes from concept art. It's his only accessory, but man, you know what? I think it matches Mohawk nicely. And here we have the core class Mohawk next to the Dr. Wu Mozart, which is their version of Mohawk. The Dr. Wu version has, I guess, sets of like 4 knives that go in little holes on his legs. One of the hands has a peg hole that you can take one of those sets of 4 knives off of and put in his hand, whereas the Studio Series 1 is able to hold his one knife just fine. Obviously, Mozart is smaller. He is really more micromaster sized. Maybe that would work better for you. I don't know. I looked at him way back in April of 2021 in episode 847. And I really like that Mohawk, and he has stood the test of time as my Mohawk now for a couple of years. I like him. Very articulated, clever transformation. The little knives, they look pretty cool. There's a lot to like here. But of course, he's not our focus, so we're going to take him out of it. We'll see Mozart a little bit later in his motorcycle mode next to this guy, but let's kind of get into the look of this guy. So, for capturing the look of Mohawk, oh man, how do I say this? The actual Mohawk is definitely more spindly, but this guy's not bad. I do wish that the toes could come apart a little bit more, but that's fairly accurate. The legs are about as spindly as they should be. He doesn't seem to have the knives on his No, he does have the knives on his leg. I'm sorry. They're not removable in this case like they are on Mozart, but they are there. Then we get to his torso. I feel like his torso is a little lankier here than it was in the film. The green paint splotches, they seem to be accurate. The look of the chest and stuff, that seems to be accurate. The arms are very poseable here. I love them. I think they're supposed to be a little more spindly, but I'm happy that they're like this. The tires over his shoulder are correct, though I think they're supposed to be facing back rather than forward. So a couple of minor things. And I'm pretty sure his actual mohawk should be green. I believe it was green in the film. It's not green here. But other than that, the rest of the green seems to be where it should be. For a version of Mohawk, I'm going to say that this is 8.5, 8.75. Let's say 8.75, right? You definitely know it's Mohawk, but it is a little bit stylized, probably based a little bit more on concept art, as indicated by the knife. The knife itself, we can take out of his hand if you're so inclined, and here on the back, right here, there's a little notch, kind of like on his butt, I suppose. And on the other side of the knife, there's a little notch there, and this knife should be able to notch on to that little post. It's a bit of a, it's not even a nuisance to do it, it's just you got to line it up, and it's very small to do. I can't do it on camera, I'm just going to do it off camera and show you guys. There you go. It goes tabbed on like that. It's only one way it goes on that I've been able to figure out, so it should be in this orientation on his back. And there he is from the back, speaking of which, right? Just wanted to rearrange things a little bit. So the head goes left, right. It can come off because it's just on a 5mm peg. It is Blast Effects compatible for when he lost his head in the movie. The arms can go all the way out to the side for a full T-pose. They can go all the way forward. We have very, very, very deep elbow because of transformation. Bicep swivel, technically I guess because of the ball joint. No waist, but we have legs that can go forward and back and all the way out to the side. We have a little bit of ankle tilt, and the knees are weird. Just listen. I don't know if you can hear it. Do you hear that? There's a very soft ratchet there, like they lock in position. But if you want like a knee bend, you can get it. I do find that it may affect his stability standing up, but I mean, it is what it is. Most of it is there that I could want for a core class. Again, I'm going to say about an 8.5. Like right now, I think he's about an 8.5. I think he's doing pretty well. Let's do the transformation and the comparison of the motorcycle modes and get out of here. The head goes all the way back. Move it from the neck hinge, not the upper part of the head, because all you're going to end up doing is opening his mouth. Then straighten out this motorcycle wheel and bring the whole thing up over his face. We're going to take the arms and bring them out straight, essentially for now. And we're going to bend them up and do nothing with them for now. I'm going to take the legs and bring them down here, and then we're going to swing that entire section of the motorcycle down. We're going to bring the thigh up over and bring the thigh up over, straighten out a foot and straighten out a foot, straighten out a leg, and straighten out a leg. And we're going to put these feet together. When we do, get these feet together. Okay, what we should be able to do now is, using a rectangular slot here and a rectangular tab there, lock these feet into position. You're going to have to adjust the knees a little bit, but this is basically the seat of the motorcycle. Kind of, sort of. There, locked in like that. Push these in on the side and it locks all of that in. Now you got to deal with the arms. And what we have is we have a ball peg that kind of collapses in. The arms sort of come up on the side, and what we have is a, let's see if I can find it here now. We have like a peg here and a rectangular slot here. And on the arm we have a peg and a slot, and that's how it'll go in. I'm going to try and show that up close because it's really, really difficult to try and film. Okay, let me see if I can show you this. What we have here is, oh man, it's so hard. What we have here is a little peg here and a little rectangular slot here. And the arm goes over the peg, and then, I don't know if this is staying in focus or not, that goes in the slot. And we got to do the same thing on the other side. We put that over the peg, and then that goes in the slot. Not for nothing, by the way, but since I got you already here, let's turn this around. Since I got you already here, there's a little notch there on the side of the chest. That little notch on the side of the chest is where the knife for motorcycle mode pegs in, so that in the end, boom, here we have them both in their motorcycle modes. And I think they're both successful. They're different things. This one is more micromaster size. This one is more legend size. I think the transformation is kind of brilliant. I'm going to give it a, I don't know, let's say a 9.5. I think it's actually simple, but I think it's really good, and everything does tab in, and this is very, very solid. Taking this guy out of it, though, he rolls really great. Yeah, 9.5. I mean, why not? Rolls well, looks great. Overall score is about a 9. It really depends on what you want from a Mohawk. Do you want something about this scale? Do you want something micromaster scale? Or there's that other one that I can't remember the name of, that I have to call Mozart, even though this is Mozart. Or, yeah, this is Mozart. I don't know what the other one's called, really. It's bigger, it's more maybe MPM scale. So there are options for different versions of Mohawk. I mean, kind of a fringe character. Who would expect options? But hey man, I'm not going to complain about it. This guy is fun, functional, fantastic. And here we are, and here he is. And he is. Here's the thing. There is no loser here. Both of these are great. It's really a matter of, do you want something more micromaster size? Do you think that's the size that he should be? Do you think that's the size his motorcycle should be? Or do you want something a little bit bigger by way of the core class? The only real issue, I guess, that I have with the core class, other than like he's more bulky than the spindliness of his animation model, which is neither here nor there. I really kind of prefer the look of this. His paint is all where it should be and stuff. Is I do wish those feet were a little bigger, a little more, I don't know, stable. He stands okay, but it doesn't take a lot to tip him over. I feel like this guy is actually a little more stable on his feet. But there's no loser here. Mozart is great if you want to go for a larger scale. This guy is pretty great if you want to go for like a legend scale, a core class scale. But if your whole collection is smaller, and you're like, hey, a motorcycle should be smaller, then the Micromaster one from Dr. Wu is also great. No losers, only winners for the Last Night Mohawk. Let me know what you think about core class Mohawk here. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. Please and thank you. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.